Hello, dear viewers, and welcome back to ALLATRA TV Middle East. And today, I'm co-hosting this show with Sarah. Sarah, hi, how are you?
Hi, Alina. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. It's very hot in Dubai today. It's so hot actually that it's nice to stay at home and watch our shows, especially because today we are having a very special guest and we are going to touch the topic of artificial intelligence and human thinking. So we are also going to talk about the highest value of any society, which is human life, and how we can bring the new generation of future people who will care about our society. So we are going to touch these topics and many more other topics today. And I'm very happy to say that today's special guest was invited by Sarah. And this is a proof that the theory of six handshakes, which we are testing, is really working. So please meet our special guest, Dr. Krishantha Kapugama. Hello. How are you, doctor?
Hi, how are you, Alina? How are you? I'm fine.
Very good. Very good. Thank you so much. And Sarah, I give you the floor.
Thank you, Alina. Hello. So basically, in every life conversation, we are testing the theory of six handshakes. And in every life conversation, it is proven that this theory is actually working. And this theory is about people knowing each other and connecting to each other through six connections. And within the framework of a unique project Creative Society, we are conducting social surveys from all over 180 countries to see people how they envision creative society, a society where they will be happy and living prosperously.
Lovely. Yes, I love this theory and I like to taste it and to test it and to see that it's really working. And just before we start, I would like to address our dear viewers. Please feel free to leave your live comments in YouTube chat and share your understandings and your envisions of creative society. Don't hesitate to leave your questions, which we will ask at the end of today's program.
So our today's special guest is Dr. Krishantha Kapugama. His specialty area of research is AI and futuristics. He completed his PhD in biometrics and human forensics. He also has a master's degree in regional development and planning, as well as a master's degree in strategic studies. Please welcome our special guest. Hello, doctor.
Thank you
I
very much.
actually would like to know about your opinion. How do you envision the future of humanity with the development of high-performance technologies?
Okay, let me introduce something like this. Before we embark on the topic precisely, we need to understand certain things about what is happening, the world notion or the new normalities of the world. So, if I may elaborate a bit, by some estimates, we have co-opted 40% of the Earth's terrestrial photosynthetic capacity. Basically, humans inhabit every continent and maintain a permanent presence under the ocean and in outer space. So our success as a species we owe to our intelligence, and intelligence that lets us coordinate actions, share informations, and build tools. But what will happen when finally build something smarter than us? That is a question that we have to ask. In just the last decade, we have witnessed the rise of AI that can hold conversations, speak any of like 100 maybe languages, beat anyone at Jeopardy, maybe chess, Go, poker, and in any archery video games. And also AI recognizes objects and faces better than us, even spots cancer better than most doctors. AI has been used to invent technology, discover laws of physics, even identify new drugs. Today's AI can compose as well as Bash and paint as well as Van Gogh. It has developed its own highly original artistic styles. It can drive, fly, even move better than most humans. So with these developments, the human existence is important. But there are certain theories, there are certain academics and scholars, they have predicted something else as well. So I'm asking you a question. What chance do we have in the coming age where AI eclipses humanity in all areas? So that is a question that I would like to ask from all of us, all of we need to agree to something before we embark on the topic correctly. So we need to understand what is intelligence. So according to agent environment interaction model of intelligence, something intelligent is it perceives its environment and interacts with it in a manner that is what you call intelligent. So we can continue. Sarah.
Okay, thank you so much. Actually, the definition of intelligence is quite wide. And when we speak about the humans, we don't only speak about intelligence, we speak about other characteristics that make a human human and make other species, like, for example, animals and many other creatures, make them what they are. So that's kind of the difference between humans and artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is basically intelligent creatures that are designed and programmed for a particular task, but a human, he has that particular type of intelligence, you know, but he has also other characteristics that make him human. So basically, that's what I think. What do you think, Alina?
This is what I wanted to say, Sarah. Now, certain characteristics of humans. Now, there's something called technical singularity, right? This was suggested by some people. Initially, it was suggested that technical singularity will be achieved in 2029, but later on, it shifted to some other years. I will talk those about later. Once this technical singularity process is achieved, it says the human level intelligence over artifacts is possible. So when you say this word human level intelligence, it comprises with emotions, empathy, sympathy, the knowledge, and also every aspect of a human. So when you create something artificially, where exactly similar to a human, then of course, now it is like the human species is transcending to another species. So now there will be a problem according to many renowned scholars like Elon Musk, Stephen Hawking, Ray Kurzweil. According to those scholars, now there could be a problem, or there will be actually, for my understanding, there will be a definite problem for the existence of the human species by creating a human level intelligence.
Doctor, we'll go through all of these questions within the conversation. We had prepared some questions in regard to this for you.
Yeah, I think that's a very important topic, and it's a very, I would say, unique opportunity for us today to raise it and to discuss it all together, because actually people think that these topics, they should be discussed only by specialists, but the truth is that it concerns every human being, and in this kind of discussions there should be every human being involved. And as we know, like, there is a huge difference between a human and an animal from the point of view of intelligence, or a human and a machine. The difference is that based on what we are taking our final decisions. And when we talk about machines, they will do the following, like action according to the program which was downloaded. Yes, and people, they are different. Humans always take decisions taking in consideration also their soul and their empathy, as Dr. Krishantha just mentioned. So please, Doctor, can you tell us from your point of view how technology can help humans to be more productive and more efficient? Let's start from the basics.
All right. It's like this. Say for an instance, the big data or the big data collection, right? And also the data modeling. You call sometimes data mining also data mining and data modeling. From all this stuff, actually, you can predict like the future of certain things, because humans are not capable of comprehending the whatever the every aspect of information. So this artificial intelligence, like certain algorithms, certain softwares, maybe if I tell it in normal terms. So the computers are like they can process the information. They can extract something out of the information, out of like a massive amount of information. They can extract something and put it to a proper information. So the humankind, they don't have to like mine all the data by themselves. So this is a big aspect in AI. And also now that is only a small, like it is a big process, but it is only a very minute item in AI. There are so many things. If I tell you something like this, say for an instance, general purpose learning algorithms are broadly useful, right? They can be used in many domains beyond games. Learn how to translate languages, which helps travelers to navigate all around the world, right? One of the latest projects of DeepMind is in AI called AlphaFold. So this AlphaFold is a learning how to solve incredibly complex problems of protein folding, a problem which, if solved, has applications in developing medicines, gene therapies, and perhaps even cure the cancer, right? So learning algorithms could also play a key role in achieving human and superhuman intelligence. For we don't need to figure out how to build the brain of an adult human. We only need to figure out how to build the brain of a baby. From there, the AI can learn everything. AI also is being used in many forms in music industry, and has applications in writing lyrics, melodies, and even predicting sales that a musical piece will generate. And even in so AI programs or AI can develop arts. So very recently, piece of art like sold for 400,000, more than $400,000 by developed by AI. Right? And also AI can take.
Yeah.
So what I was like talking to you about certain technologies that AI can like we can the technologies where we can integrate AI, right? So with the latest technology, an AI can take a single photograph and bring it to life by predicting the future. A team from MIT's AI lab trained an AI from a single picture. So many things are happening around the world. And there's an invention is another expression of human creativity, right? Inventing new tools and technologies, we have transformed our way of life. Human creativity brought us from tribes people to having every convenience of modern society. As I told you previously, also in 2018, the auction house Christie's became the first to list artwork created by an AI. The portrait fetched about like $432,000. It was like a 45 times estimated price, right?
Mhm.
But the thing that we need to understand here, the humans are no longer the sole possessors of ingenuity. The computer scientist John Koza created the field of genetic programming. Genetic programming is inspired by the techniques of biological evolution. It enables the program to update and adapt itself in the search for more. So as now in a future date, when this AI achieves the super intelligence level, or when the AI artifacts surpass the humans, so they will start creating things, you know. So this is how I see the future. You call the technical singularity, basically.
Thank you, Doctor. Actually, AI can process massive amounts of data and generate scenarios, and we can like generate behavioral models and very interesting models for us to be able to make more effective decisions. And let's just go to
Absolutely.
what Professor Andrew had said about AI. I quote, for AI to reach its full potential, governments should be thoughtful about protecting citizens while also creating room for the positive innovation that AI can bring. Innovation, potential, protection, creation, humans, and artificial intelligence. How can all these elements be connected in the most optimal way? And what do you think the role of government in this regard?
And self-government of people as well,
Yeah.
altogether.
For my understanding, actually, a regulatory body, say for instance, if it is a legal government, what they should do, they should bring out the legal framework or the policies, right? And strategic level decision makers, they have to embark on like global common agreement. Like if the third world countries like ours actually will be very vulnerable in this to come, right? So whoever, like, we need to come to a common or the international kind of a common agreement about the legal framework of development of AI, right? And also ethical aspect. Sometimes the ethical aspect, like not sometimes. Actually, we need to like talk about this ethical aspect a lot. There are AI agent could do anything, so we need to control. The controlling factor to be. We need to discuss this factor, and also those things. And as a government, I think the research and innovation process, right? Funding, maybe public-private partnerships, and also like mm, the involvement of the government, university involvement, basically, especially the universities. They are the people who are like capable of doing research, right? So. We need to globalize. We need to work with the international community, especially like big countries like China, US. Those are the countries that they are the people who have this technology at the state of the technology. So our governments should collaborate with these people, and especially with the universities, with the academic scholars of the whole world. And governments should support the community to start research and innovation in AI, right? And also the government should involve in secondary and tertiary education as well. Now AI is not being taught anywhere in most countries, but in certain countries AI is being taught at the secondary level education. So government can take a policy decision. Okay, this particular thing we have to at least embark the children, the youngsters who are like learning this. They have to start from the very beginning. And also the universities, seminars, symposiums, workshops, right? But I'm saying AI culture, I would tell that word again, a culture of AI to be established in a country. So we all know the bad things, the pros and cons, everything to be taught, right? So that is how I think that is how the government should involve it.
Absolutely. And also then as we like consider everything through the concept of creative society and every sphere of our life and future life, from the concept of creating such a society that everyone feels comfortably and happily, I see here that the important topic is what is the motivation which drives scientists to develop artificial intelligence, because finally it's a tool, right? And you can use this tool in different directions. And what I like that you touched the topic, that it's very much important that scientists should unite and they should combine their experience. They can work together on the rules, on the legal rules and ethical rules, and also coming from the basics. What would be the first point in their handbook of using of artificial intelligence you would write?
I would suggest you to handle the big data. Data information is the biggest weapon in this world now, right? So by collecting, now see, Facebook, Google, all these things are big sources of information. So you put what you eat, you put a like to something, this and that. So intelligent agent, what I'm saying, it's a computer process. So that agent, once the modeling and one of the algorithms, they can foresee what you do next, what the world is like turning to. Maybe you can predict the terrorism. Maybe you can predict it will this information, the big data will be the number one weapon in the world in days to come, right? So whoever embark on, like, say for an instance, now our countries are very small third world countries, but if we are superior in information, we can even like physical size, the data, how we are going to model them, how we are going to develop what you want to access. You can basically change people's mind by handling this data. So I suggest, like, all the scientists, actually they're very much engaged in handling big data and modeling and developing all these things. That is why all this Facebook or like things are very popular among the people.
Yeah. And even, do you think that these big data, if used and implemented correctly, could even predict like climate disasters and help people to avoid and to survive, to leave the territories which are dangerous, to provide the necessities in the areas they move? It can serve, right? Because it's a big machine.
Yeah, it can act as a big one machine, but what I'm saying, yes, this data actually, we being humans, maybe a scientist, maybe anybody, we can't comprehend everything in the world, right? So there are specialized people who can like predict, who can analyze the past, who can the knowledge of the epistemological knowledge. When you put it to the reality, the ontological knowledge, everything, they predict what is going to happen, even the global warming, for an instance, right? So when now there are certain things that humans can do, like we can't. If just imagine if a human can come to the internet. Now there's something IoT, Internet of Things, right? So, and also like systems of systems. I'm going to talk about that in a later date. So when these things are coming into place, this, even the humans can access enormous amount of data. So obviously we can come up with a kind of a prediction suggestion for the human development. I mean, like, human existence is imminent, right? Maybe without AI, maybe they will like kill each other from a war or something like that. So, two world wars happen in the world, right? So who can say there won't be another world war, right? So similarly, human existence can be like this. AI can help them by the natural disasters. Obviously, the AI can predict so many things. So similarly, it can destroy the human as well. That is why I told you earlier. Also, the governments or we have to come to a kind of a common global agreement to not to abuse this AI or technology. We need to
Absolutely.
establish some sort of a common ground. Yeah.
True. Yeah. Thank you. That's important.
And you know, Doctor, in regards to the information, there are so many technologies that can ensure us access to the information in real time, which is very important to have more visibility of what's happening. And that's what's happening actually in industries. We see that more industries and more companies are going to digitalization and automation to make sure that they have more reliable information. For example, in my engineering thesis, as I told you, like I've worked about this, like a system for a company to have reliable information about the suppliers, which is really important. That had allowed it to make very effective and factual decisions. So can you please tell us, and also it can guarantee for the company a competitive advantage in a very uncertain environment in the market. So can you please tell us how these technologies are helping transforming the economy and are helping improving businesses?
Okay. Now there are two aspects of this, right? Automation of companies. If I'm a owner of a company, I would rather opt to automate the company rather than keeping some humans in the loop, right? The reason actually, now see, in 1900, right? The horses made their living through their strength, right? The horses. So they couldn't find new jobs once stronger machines like automobiles and tractors entered the scene, right? So similarly, now when somebody is like more capable of coming to the scene, to the organizations, the human element will be replaced by that upcoming whatever the machine, right? So this is imminent to happen to the humans, right? Basically it says 36 million jobs will be lost due to the AI intervention to the global market, right? So that is a big problem, right? But with all this stuff happening, now AI can work faster, more accurately, and for less money. The AI worker requires no training time. It never quits, takes leave, no. Now it will not get sick. So obviously the organizations will be benefited in terms of working if you put AI into the system. Right? But that is a problem to the human, as I told. Like see, and also now there will be certain labor rules and so many problems with related to labor if a big organization is concerned. So these problems will not be there with the AI, right? And also like say, like the banks, the jobs of the banks had been altered by ATM machines, right? And maybe toll collectors. There are toll machines, right? And the editors, spelling and grammar check softwares are there. Personal assistants, this Siri, Google Home, right? All these things are there. So supermarket cashiers, self-checkout machines are there, right? And also like certain airports like in Changi in Singapore, it is automated. The immigration aspect is thrown out, right? And assembly line workers, the robots are involved. Travel agents, booking websites are there. Tax preparers, tax softwares are there, right? So human level general intelligence threatens all jobs. Someday soon we may all feel as these workers are left alone with the previous thing that I was talking, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but there are certain advantages as well. People can't fool the system most, right? If obviously the hacking and the cyber threats are there, but people will not like go there to an organization and try to bribe somebody. Maybe the emotional aspect will not be there, so it is very objective, right? So the accuracy will be more important jobs, right? Those things are there. So those are the pros and this is why I told you that there are pros and cons both, right?
Absolutely. So the technology is also the topic that you touched is important, that it can give like more transparency to the population, to the citizens of certain countries, and hopefully all the world globally, to get transparent information, to like observe how the government is dealing with problems, how they fulfill their obligations towards people. It controls also the criminal, right? Because with transparency and artificial intelligence, we can really like do a lot of good. But what you mentioned about there are like debates on different platforms about the AE development, because people are just simply afraid to lose their jobs, and they're afraid for the future if they are substituted by artificial intelligence at their companies or factories. And that's a big problem of our society, because here again we come to the topic of foundations on which our society is built. Yes, if it's built on the main foundation, which is profit, like now, and scientists, they call, economists and sociologists, they call it consumerism society, then of course there are huge risks, and people who feel this fear, it's reasonable, right? It's obvious that yes, if they lose their jobs today, how are they going to feed their children tomorrow? How are they going to educate their children? How are they going to survive when they retire? So many questions, right? But if we come to the point that our society is built on 8 foundations, which we will present later on today, then many things can change, because this can be a strong tool to develop our society to the direction of evolution, which we all need today. Yes, we achieved a lot of results, technology results, but still there are so many things to be done to provide a good living for all people on Earth. What would you say, Doctor?
Um, yeah, absolutely. Now we don't have to fear about the future, like like it is the future uncertain. It's an abstract thought, right? So we don't like have to fear and nothing like that. There are certain jobs, like say for instance, childcare workers, teachers, nurses, waitress, bartenders, social workers, therapists, maybe airline pilots, to some people who's not ready to fly with robots, right? Maybe managers, salespeople, CEOs, public speakers, and also the politicians, the clergy, right? Live performers, professional athletes, and maybe critics writing content that is like long and coherent, like script-based kind of novels, books. AI programmers until AI achieve the super intelligence. So these jobs are secure, right? So we need this now in like there are so many benefits also. Curing cancer is a big benefit, right? So we don't have to be scared of like losing jobs and they don't do anything, nothing like that. This is why I told the governments, they need to intervene, the policymakers, they need to intervene positively to this particular process, and they need to derive. We should not wait until things happen. We should start it from nowadays. We should like embark on the system now, and then we can we can control the system, right? So there are so many actually things that we can talk about this particular thing. But what I think it is, it will not end like a Hollywood movie, like not like Terminator kind of thing, right? So we have many other better options as well.
Yeah. Well, we need, I feel from what you touch now, we need more collaboration between specialists, and already now we should create platforms and conferences which should run regularly, because there are so many things to develop already now, right? And the demand of the population is huge. The progress is enormous, and we should bring it to the right direction. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I actually do not believe that AI or artificial general intelligence that's being developed, more performant AI, can like replace humans. It can surpass the human intelligence maybe, but it can't replace it, because we do have, like, I believe that it can be integrated as a creature with us. Like, I'm very welcoming of this idea. But when it comes to replacing humans and replacing other creatures, it can't happen. Although, like, what I feel is that AI and artificial general intelligence are being programmed for a certain task. They are not adaptive, and that's the only risk that we have. It's like to have a creature that's designed to do a certain job, and it can be able to adapt to the environment that it is in. Like it's only made to solve logical problems. That's kind of an issue to the world, because it kind of brings some certain threats to the harmony of the world and consciousness and wisdom and the connectivity of humans. That is something very essential and very important to explore in order to be able to sustain in the world, because there is some certain balance. You know, the world is balanced, and it's not what we only can see. It's more than that. So I truly believe that artificial and general intelligence can be integrated as a creature in the world, but it can't replace another creature that's also in the world, because that will touch to the harmony of the world probably. And there's also a philosopher at the University of Oxford who actually had spoken about the risks of superintelligence. What do you think of this? Like, what do you think of superintelligence, consciousness, wisdom, and exploring humans' characteristics? All of these combined to build a better future for all the creatures that are going to be integrated into the ecosystem.
Very correct. I appreciate your thoughts here, really, Sarah. Actually, this is what we need to think. This is the line that we need to think of. Like long time back, uh, like I have seen certain films like about the cyborgs and things like that. So, like integration is a very correct word that you utilize. Integration is the most important thing. Like it is not that we are developing something totally new. Maybe human machine integration will serve the purpose as you told. The consciousness again is something that we need to think about. This consciousness is a very big topic, right, in machines and in humans as well. So actually that topic will keep to another date. Obviously that is a very big topic, and we need to talk a lot about that. And as you very correctly said, now actually in the world, the AI researchers, they are trying to integrate this machine and humans both, right? So for an instance, like we all like, if there's a heart problem, like you put some artificial stuff inside your body, right? And also there are so many things happening with the medical science. There are so many things are happening in the world, and and they even stop the aging factor of these mice, right? And they have even like reverse age them. So there are things that if you integrate AI properly to the system or to the bioengineering, I would say, we can um, we can have better results. And also uh, like coexistence is the most important that we need to research on. At present we don't do much research on this particular aspect, coexistence, right, machine and humans both. So I would suggest the researchers, scholars, to like do certain research, especially about the consciousness, as you told, right? So these are things that we need to research on. That is my belief.
Mhm. And you know, doctor, there are many types of decision making, and in each decision, type of a decision, there is the usage of AI. Like, for example, in some decisions that can be automated, we can use AI to generate scenarios for us to make decisions. In some decisions that can be half automated, we can also use another type of machines for us. And for example, for me in my field, I just use information systems or any kind of systems or machines just to give me more information about the domain and area, and it's up to me to make decisions. So how do you think decision making and problem solving, innovation specifically, is going to be developed with the integration of AI in the ecosystem of the world?
Yeah, that is very important. That is, as I told you at the at the beginning of this discussion also, decision making based on certain things, maybe with the experience that a person has, maybe with the knowledge, maybe with the skill, right? So for I'll take a small example. Now these airlines, you know that airlines have these autopilot, right? So you are very comfortable when you fly in an aircraft in like normally, say for an instance, you are going to some country. So when you're going inside the aircraft, you're okay. The pilots are flying the autopilots in autopilot. But will you be all right if the aircraft is about to land, right? It is on the approach. If you see that the pilot is on autopilot, are you comfortable? You are not, right? So, but it is
For
possible,
sure
right?
not.
So
Yeah, it's
it is possible. Yeah. So you would like to see the pilot control, right? But you don't want
human
that
control,
is
right?
human control. So what I'm telling, this is about the confidence level that you have, nothing to do with anything else, right? Confidence level. So, but believe me, the machines are very capable of like doing so many calculations together. They can react promptly more than a human, right? So that is, it has been proved by so many experimental designs. That is why even the aircraft are like designed to land automatically, right? So you can do that. But this is how also you can augment the decision making. Now, human brain cannot access the entire spectrum of information. Maybe the forgetfulness, maybe the situation, the fatigue, like the human element, they have a lot of problems, lot of barricades. But a machine, if a machine is helping to take decisions, actually this is being done, right? Especially that is why I told you that to like this from this data mining, modeling, and developing so many algorithms, they help us take decisions, right? It is there are autonomous decisions as there are there's a weapon system called like say lethal autonomous weapon system. You call it laws, right? So these weapons are being utilized for border protection in some countries. Like it takes the decision to even to open a fire to a person, right? It is a big decision, right? So now there are certain this navigation system, right? The satellites, all these things are actually helping you to take some decision, especially a pilot if he's like flying in an unfamiliar terrain. So the GPS would help you to understand where you are, and also like these are the decision augmenting kind of things, right? So obviously, it is very important. The AI, especially if the AI is there, right? Those are not like proper AI objects that I was talking. But if AI is there, AI will think and it will derive solutions, and it will uh, enhance your knowledge and the skill, everything.
Absolutely. And
Yeah,
when
especially
you
like
touched now the topic, I just imagined if I would like to be in the aircraft that there is only the pilot and no artificial intelligence like in the contemporary world. And I would say no as well, because knowing how unstable emotionally can be a human being sometimes. So then I see that the best variation possible is this collaboration of a human being and an artificial intelligence created by a person of goodwill, by an honest scientist who put his best into the creation of artificial intelligence to make this world really a better place to live. And in this case, if the pilot is also someone, a person of goodwill, the person who is controlling his emotions, the person who is professional, then this is the situation. I would like to be the passenger of the plane, of such a plane. Then, so you see how it is. So just to refuse from artificial intelligence, no, we wouldn't like in the contemporary world. It's crazy, like we go back to tribes, and that's not what we are looking for. And I wanted also to ask you now. Yes, please.
No, go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, we are in special conditions nowadays due to this pandemic situation, and worldwide, the educational system, like basic educational system, has absolutely changed. And schools and educational professionals, they are facing now the situation, then they have to substitute like the teacher by by kind of artificial intelligence, or to find a good combination between both. Can you please give us your ideas? How can we develop this field so that we can upbring the new generation, which will really like implement in the future as the honest citizens, and they will develop our civilization? How do you see it?
I see at the moment what we can do is parenting is done by basically by the parents, right? So, but the kids, these these days, the kids, children, they are exposed to many kind of experiences, right? Especially like a kid in Syria, maybe exposed to war, right? So a kid in a small boy or girl in Switzerland, maybe like they are not exposed to that kind of toughness in the life, right? So, what I believe, AI now, when for parenting, education, those things, this particular equipment or tool can be utilized, like to inculcate good behaviors. Say for instance, right? So when a kid is in front of a computer, he can access to anything he wants. But there are certain tools that it can control. It can like suggest certain things for this learning process. And also, as I told you, with the advancement of this technology, most probably the human element will not work hard, right? There are certain options. There could be certain other elements. They come and do the human work. That is why I told that humans are going to lose the jobs. So similarly, but my belief, in a situation like COVID, this pandemic era, the whole globe went to a dark age almost, right? So at that time, actually, this AI can take over certain jobs, especially suggesting to diagnose, say for an instance, now you can't go to hospital to get some medication maybe. So diagnosing certain things, maybe a small, whatever you have, a medical problem, right? Maybe parenting your children, maybe the cleaning services, everything, those things can be the supply chain management kind of thing, maybe in a organization. And also like these big companies who deliver things to your doorstep in a situation like, yeah, I can hear. Something
Lovely.
happened with the the technology.
While you've been connecting back, we just discussed that the topic is so huge you cannot cover it within one broadcast. So it's really the precedent to start conferences and roundtables on this topic on the platform of ALLATRA International Public Movement, as volunteers can provide technical platform for speakers and to connect people as well. Yeah. And as we are talking today about a creative society, let's maybe discuss how do you envision such a society that you would feel comfortably, that you would live prosperously, happily, you, your beloved ones, and all people in the world. Can you please describe such a society?
Best example is so you are like hosting this kind of conference and like educating the people, right? So these are very nice things, especially Sarah and all these people who are involved with this is a voluntary process without any expectation. So we are trying to educate some people who have the less capacity, or the less people who have who have not seen the world much. maybe the experience is less. So we are trying to do something better. I would suggest like you guys like continue this good work for the future also. I'm pretty sure that you are doing a very great job. Even now Sarah and all the involved with this GLTS and all this process as well. Process, they invite certain people and they like conduct certain discussions like this. So these are things of, of developing a better society, isn't it?
Actually, to synthesize a bit what we had spoken in this conversation, and like the most important guidelines, like we had spoken that AI can be really used for good, for reliability and transparency, and the human element is very important as well, because the humans have this consciousness, and the ecosystem can go to its harmonious state by including, integrating all of these creatures in the world. And now let's go through the 8 foundations of creative society, where we'll know how the individual plays a very important role in such creative society. We will see the 8 foundations on screen.
Sarah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
We'll just project the 8 foundations of screen so you can see them and choose the most relevant ones for you.
Yeah, while we are waiting, I can start introducing them to our viewers. So the 8 foundations of the creative society are based on the fact that human is a fundamental unit of society, and humanity is one big family. And the first foundation of creative society is human life. The second foundation is human freedom. The third foundation is human safety. The fourth foundation is transparency and openness of information for all. The fifth foundation is the creative ideology. The sixth foundation is development of personality. The seventh foundation is justice and equality. And the eighth foundation is self-governing society. And I would like to introduce the first foundation to our viewers to give the explanation. It's human life. So human life is the highest value. Life of any human has to be protected as one's own. The goal of society to ensure and guarantee the value of each human's life. There is not and never can there be anything else more valuable than a human's life. If one human is valuable, then all people are valuable. This is the first foundation. And dear viewers, if you would like to learn more about each foundation, please don't hesitate to visit allatraunites.com webpage, and you will find there the description of the project Creative Society and the explanation of 8 foundations. And today we would like to ask Dr. Krishantha to comment on any of these 8 foundations. Choose any, doctor, which you would like to talk about: human life, human freedom, human safety, transparency and openness of information for all, the creative ideology, development of personality, justice and equality, and self-governing society. Which one you would like to discuss and to give your understandings?
I would I would like to tell you a few points about this human freedom, right?
Yes,
The reason why I want to tell you now this corona thing happen is a very nice real-time example, right? I'm not like telling that the situation is nice, but it is a very educative kind of a thing to the whole world. Now, while you must have seen, while in certain countries they have contained the situation nicely, very nicely. Even in our country, it has contained very nicely. But in countries, my most developed countries, they could not do it. Right? It went to an extent of a pandemic. Right? Even in China, where it started, they contained it to a very greater limit with a massive population of 1 point, maybe like 4 billion people, right? So they contained, but in small countries, it could not. Do you like what I thought this pandemic has affected the humans, because I would like to like suggest a word called dangerous freedom, right? So people, when they are like developed, and when they have so many things, they are trying to enjoy a very dangerous level of freedom, right? They liberal themselves from the existing notion of the government or the governing notion, right? They are trying to deviate from that, right? And they are what happens now, what is going to happen in certain countries, certain big cities, they don't really care about this, and they go out and they spread the pandemic, the virus to everyone, right? So when you talk about this freedom, we need to understand what freedom that we are talking. Freedom is not that you can do anything, nothing like that, right? Freedom is basically you need to live to the notion of the society, right? For instance, now say for instance, like you want the absolute freedom, so you can't go to a place and walk naked, right? So you need to like you can, like, somebody can argue, okay, I'm free to do anything. You can't do like that, right? You need to live to the notion. So this freedom, the word freedom, we need to define it very correctly. You should not like go to a very dangerous level of enjoying a very dangerous level of freedom. You can do certain thinking. You need to liberal your thoughts, right? And maybe with the notion of the system, with the existing system, you need to in line with the system. That is what I just wanted to share about this freedom.
Yeah,
Human
it's
life is important. Yeah.
yeah, it's absolutely. It's also like you are part of the society, and if you feel that your absolute freedom is against the society, and you don't use education, you
Absolutely.
don't use your intelligence, such a human individual will be a danger to the society. And thanks
Yeah.
for pointing this, because it makes part of the explanation of their second foundation, human freedom, which is the following: every human freedom is born with the right to be a human being. All people are born free and equal. Everyone has a right to choose. There can be no one and nothing on earth above a human, his freedom and rights. The implementation of human rights and freedoms must not violate the rights and freedoms of others. So here is exactly
Yes.
what you said, that everything should be like wise and regulated, and people should also value other foundations such as human life and human safety and all the others. And thank you very much for sharing.
Actually,
Uh,
that reminded me of a very interesting mindset that with a lots of freedom comes a lots of responsibility. And the first thing that we as a human should do is to be civil, so we can take the responsibility of the freedom that we have. And the most important value, the most important freedom that we may have is freedom of thinking. If we are free to think, we can innovate. And that's how we had reached our today's technological world. Scientists could be able to think. That's why now we have AI, and they will think even more to develop more performant technologies for bettering the world. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. Absolutely. And Doctor, I would like to ask you, as you have visited so many countries, you traveled a lot, you met different people. From your experience, from your life experience, what unites all of us, despite the differences in our nationalities, races, religious, what unites us internally?
I would say in a single word, humanity. Like that's a, even it is a single word, it is a very big concept. Being human is very important. It is the empathy, the sympathy, the cognitive ability, integrity that anybody would have. All these attributes contributes to being a human. Respect the elders, respect your parents, respect your kids, respect each other, right, is very important. If you can smile and talk to a person, that's the best thing. Wherever I have been, in so many places in the world, what I have seen as common is if you are a good human, uh, so you speak a common language, you stand on a common ground, anybody would understand you, anybody would come and help you, nobody would do any harm to you, right? So this is what I understood from my life experience.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Doctor. And how can we ensure sorry, I just lost the question which I wanted to
Like,
ask
how we can
you.
ensure the
Yes.
harmony between technology and humans in creative society? Like, how will be the interaction between humans and technology?
True. Thank you, Sarah.
Sorry, Sarah, I didn't hear what you said.
How will be the interaction between humans and technology, AI specifically, and artificial general intelligence in creative society?
Like, see, as I told you, this deep learning and machine learning is based on it learns by itself, right? So
Yeah.
as a small child, maybe he or she will learn by uh, her or his parents. So similarly, the machines also will do the same, right? So I'm not asking you like you be kind to a kind of a machine, but what I'm saying, you need to always like Newton's laws, that is a Newton's third law, right? So basically what you need to feed into a machine, so you need to expect the outcome as like what you like feed, right? So coexistence between machine and humans is a very abstract kind of thought, even though in a theoretical note, obviously we can like conceptualize so many things in the future, but uh, we should not come to a place like that. The coexistence is by that word itself, there will be a place where we will have to fight with the machines also, right? Isn't it? So when you say that coexistence, right? So we should not come to a state like that. We should like contain the situation where you should not fight, or where should not like think of coexistence. The human, as we embark on our topic, human existence is important, right? So to for the human existence, we need to get the help of the machine or the machine intelligence. It should help the existence of humans well-being, I would say, right? So we need to create. Now still we are creating the machines for, so we need to create certain things.
We can't hear you.
Doctor, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Please, sorry.
Okay.
There was a moment we couldn't hear you speaking, just maybe the last couple of sentences.
Oh, what did you not hear? The last sentence that I told?
Yeah.
Okay. So no. What I was telling basically, we should not come to a place where we are like fight machines, nothing like that. We should develop. We should like predict and keep on working on something that the machine should come and help the human life, human existence. So we should not come to a state where we have to think about the human existence, coexistence with the machine. That is that is almost an abstract thought, though. But yes, it is also a possibility one day, right? With the advancement, like just
Yeah. Thank you,
doubling curve.
Doctor. Thank you so much.
Okay.
I also would like to say that today's live chat was very active, and our viewers were asking you questions, but actually I did not read them because you already gave an answer for these questions. Still, I would like to read them. So, Dr. Krish, would you elaborate on transformation of human into a different species? Did you mean that the present Homo sapiens will extinct and a different species will evolve due to AL? Doctor, how can we regulate AL in the present political and legal policies? What changes you foresee in embracing and integrating these to the present community? And also some testimonials. Thank you for such interesting conversation. Totally agree that that the humanity is what unites us. Great thoughts. So thank you so much for answering and
Thank you.
sharing today. And just the last question we ask all of our guests, would you like to live in a creative society, Doctor?
Absolutely, I will.
That's great. And you, Sarah?
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And actually, I also would like to share with our viewers that we are very proud of Sarah, and we would like to congratulate her on getting her industrial engineer diploma. Congratulations, Sarah.
Thank you.
So, dear viewers, if you liked our broadcast today, please share it in your social media networks with two hashtags. First hashtag ALLATRAunites and the second hashtag Creative Society. And if you would like to participate in our broadcasts, please send your emails to uae@allatraunites.com. And don't forget that also we have ALLATRA Radio, and we have daily podcasts there. You can share your opinion, how you envision creative society, and we will be more than happy to get your essays on the topic creative society.
Thank you so much. And please leave us your comments below the video and join our movement. The more you share your opinion and vision with us, the more we can build creative society as fast as possible. Thank you so much and see you very soon.
Thank you very much, Sarah, Alina, and our dear host. Thank you very much for everything.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you for joining us. It was a great conversation. And please think who you would like to nominate for our next broadcast as a guest to continue the theory of six handshakes. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Bye.